Hey guys, how you doing? Papa Snow. So, I am back in my office now, okay? And it's time to do a little brainstorming. Okay, some brainstorming is always a good thing. It's always good to have some potential and good quality minds around when you're brainstorming. And I've told many people already. In fact, I've told a lot of people already um, that my life is now semi-tied to your life. And what do I mean by this? I don't mean that my problems are your problems, but I do believe that sharing experiences and working on ideas can help a lot of people. Sometimes there's a lot of good people in Guyana that don't necessarily always have the opportunity to team up with some really, really smart people and do some brainstorming. Okay, brainstorming is a very essential part of doing business. If you don't use your brain, you're gonna find yourself in a lot of problems, right? So, part of what I'm attempting to do here is to focus and stimulate the minds, especially of the younger people here in my country, and show them how to find opportunity, okay? Because there's a lot of opportunities around. Realistically speaking, there are tons and tons of opportunities all around. I'm gonna ask that you guys share this video as well, because this is gonna be a very informative video, okay? This is a video that would lead to a solution. It will lead to, a development of a particular piece of land or a particular area or a particular business. In this sense, it is basically the revitalization of a business that was successful, but after the original owners migrated, they left it in the hands of other people and kind of went down the drain, right? So, to help the business owner salvage what they have there, because they do have a lot of equipment there. If we check, we're looking at about $40 million in equipment roughly, right? If you have to go through trying to buy those things brand new, sometimes maybe a little bit more expensive, depending on what it is. Then you got to consider structure. You got to consider a lot of things, right? Because some of that equipment is not cheap. Okay, that's all industrial equipment. They have a full setup already. Of course, due to lack of maintenance, and that's always a big issue. And before I even move away from that topic, that is the number one reason that most businesses in Guyana is failing. Okay, most businesses, especially industrial businesses, hotels, whatever you name it, right? They're primarily failing due to lack of professional maintenance, right? Buying the equipment is one thing, maintaining your equipment for the longevity of your business is relative, right? And I noticed that a lot of people in Guyana, it's been a big problem, because 99% of the time, the business owners would hire people that they would expect to maintain their stuff correctly, and that's not really the case. So you can see it in this particular instance here, that there is a lot of need for maintenance and rehabilitation inside that project site there, right? Like I said, we have an industrial plane that would need to be repaired. There are two generators there. One definitely, I can tell you the engine needs to be overhauled, but everything else seems to be intact for that generator. So that is that's a mini project in itself, right? However, provided that we are tackling these projects, with every project that is being tackled, right, when the skilled technicians from our network go in and start fixing these things, right, we're also going to be doing some step-by-step videos with you, and also for YouTube, because YouTube is one of the venues in which we use to help to systematically raise money for projects that the network does. So that's why most of the time when you see me share a YouTube link, I'll definitely ask for you guys to like it, watch it. I know sometimes some of these links are a little long, right? So what I would ask you, man, just run it in the background. Help us get up our view time. Help us get up our subscriber list, right? Because that helps us in the long run. That helps us create something called passive income, okay? And that passive income is very, very important. In fact, it's a relatively you know, like one of the most important things we can actually develop for ourselves here in Guyana is a passive stream of income. And I teach people how to use YouTube to generate passive income. I've been teaching a lot of people in Guyana how to do this. Some people are successful, others are not, simply because they lack the ability to produce content, right? What? Constitution company building the Princess Hotel? You mean what construction company? I have no idea, honestly speaking. Right? When Princess Hotel was building, I was actually focusing on building my first restaurant in Guyana, and that was a snackette, which later on I restructured that whole business. I now have a wash bay there with a super bed and a laundromat. So, you know, but I'm not sure exactly who built Princess Hotel. But Princess Hotel, when it was initially built, was poorly built. It was a rush job, but you would have to ask Buddy Shivraj and Bharat Jagdeo because they were somehow involved altogether in the construction, right, of Princess Hotel. Yes, they do have, Horace, they do have individual ACs in each room. And I think that's just the way they wanted to go, instead of central air. Right, the construction of Princess Hotel did not cater for central air. In fact, you would notice that most hotels in Guyana, I have not went into the rooms at the Marriott yet, but I can tell you Pegasus and a lot of different areas primarily have individual ACs hooked up. That's kind of the way Guyana goes, right? But Horace, you would be a good person to discuss some stuff here. Also, my boy Paras, right? Paras Pretty Ball, right? Because I know you guys are also professionals in various fields. Now, I don't know if you got to see the video prior to this one where we were checking out the next project site and, you know, looking at some of the potential and possibilities as to what we would be doing there. Of course, the production of wood products such as doors, spindles, furniture, those are things that we could definitely do from that facility with just a few minor upgrades. And basically it has everything that it needs right there. And we also have this skilled personnel through job fair right now that can help produce those things. Okay, now when I look at things like that, I look at how can you maximize a gain on it and still benefit a population that's currently economically starved. Okay, and one of the things that I'm thinking about there as well is, other than our regular retail sales for furniture that we could produce there, right, we could also do hire purchase, right? And hire purchase, we'll be able to get back a lot more, except you just get it in you know, just like piece by piece, right? But you do get a lot more when you do hire purchase agreements and stuff like that for a person, especially persons who are stably employed, working, and maybe they just needed that type of leverage, right, in order for them to get the things that they needed immediately. So, you know, if courts could do it, why can't we? Right? You know, we do have the skilled personnel who could build like almost any type of furniture that you could think about. So, and all they needed was the equipment. So now we have access to certain equipment. So now you see my job now is I'm going to connect those dots, and then I'm going to go ahead, and after those dots are connected, I will go ahead and connect it with the right customer and client base. Now, what does this mean for persons who are watching this particular video overseas? Okay, please do understand, Guyana has some of the best quality of wood around the world, right? Yeah, I mean, there's other countries that will produce it, but you're Guyanese, I'm Guyanese. We got to support our own, right? So let's focus here, right? And there are also some Guyanese persons with a lot of sales skills, sales ability, sales and marketing ability that are overseas, not just in the US, but also in Canada. And if I can train you to sell our products, then you can actually open up a business over there, and we will supply you with certain goods and services, right? Things that I know you would be able to market over there for a higher price than what we're able to market it for over here. And I do believe in a collaboration. Okay, so these are all ideas that I'm looking at in ways in which I know that it can be very feasible and beneficial for other people that are watching. Because like I said, the projects that I'm taking on, the things that I'm doing right now, I don't want you to feel that it's just me. It's not me. It's never just me. I wish sometimes that it was just me, but if it was just me, I can't be successful. Okay? One, there's a God. I put him first and foremost. And two, there must be a reason why this communication between us is happening. I don't want to know that I talk to you guys all the time and people are useless, or I'm useless to you. I would like to know that if I'm talking to you, that there is some type of benefit to it, other than just, every now and then I give a political opinion, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, there's ways to fix things in this country without having all of the bullshit politics. And one of those ways is collaborating with other brilliant people who are honest and hardworking, and helping you guys to also achieve your goals. And at the same time, basically we're killing two birds with one stone here, because we're actually a lot more than two birds, right? We're creating employment. We're helping somebody else who's an entrepreneur get their business up and running to the right level. Okay? On top of that, now we are stimulating the economy, provided that we get our export license for certain things and we're able to do certain things like this, right? Why is it that China and India and all these places are the only places producing things at low cost? Why can't we as Guyanese produce things at low cost, which is still a higher cost than what we actually earn down here, but we can still significantly make good stuff? Why is it the places like Quartz and Lucky Dollar, why is it that they are only selling foreign furniture that is cheap? Why is it that we can't produce a product that is of a magnificent quality, that those places can actually sell our products as well on higher purchase and everything else? Because they're willing to do it if we have a good product. They're willing to do it if we have a good product. Okay, Kavita, I will give out my number. I'm going to erase your message for a minute. I don't want you sharing your message. I don't want you sharing your number on my lives, right? Because there's a good possibility, okay, that some troll or somebody out there might try to call you and harass you or bother you or give you a hard time, right? So my number is 622-1957. Right, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who is trying to contact me right here, if you need to send me your number or anything, please do so in a private message. Do not do so live on the vlog. There are a lot of haters out there. There are wicked people out there. And the last thing I want is the people who are trying to target me to start targeting you. Okay? Especially women. Please. I don't think y'all need that type of harassment. I go through tons of it, and it's not a pleasant thing, but I've learned how to take that negativity and turn it into something else. But that's not an easy task. Oh God, somebody's calling me now. Like, I didn't mean call me now, lady. Another one. Yeah, sorry about that. Right, now, you're welcome, Kavita. Good afternoon to everyone if I didn't say that, so just letting you know, good afternoon once again. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things that I'm seeing as possibilities that could be done there. Okay, I'm hoping that you guys take an opportunity to go back to the video that I posted right before this one, where we were on location. Okay, and let's see what type of ideas y'all could come up with as well. You see, this is where it comes. Thinking outside of the box is very, very important, and it's very relevant, because there are going to be a lot of people who get to watch this, and it will be important to show them how many different directions you can go with something. Okay, so let me see. Where is, I need a pen. I've got pens all over. Okay, so, when brainstorming, the first thing that we have to dictate, we've already assessed the conditions of machines, right? So, one of the next thing is we have to start figuring out, like, provided everything is working correctly, what would be some of the sources of potential income? Okay, now one is definitely lumber. Okay, dressed wood, planed wood. You understand? things of that nature. Cured wood, okay? The possibility for lumber, both local and export quality, right? Also, the difference primarily between your local and your export quality wood normally deals with your curing. Okay, the curing of your wood, right? And if you're not sure about curing of wood or what it is, please just Google it, YouTube it, see what's going on. Okay, 2, we're looking at, of course, doors, right? And within doors, I could still put / cabinets and, you know, those things that you would need, right? 3, of course, we've got things like spindles, because those definitely sell. And spindles in that category, actually no, I gotta put this in a different category. 4, we can look at things like staircases, right? You know, dressing wood and prefabbing certain types of staircases and things that will be set for easy installation. Likewise, we can also prefab cabinets and those things as well for easy installation, right? Okay. All right, come on, guys. Need some more ideas, man. Need some more ideas. Those are just a couple things that I know I could touch base on, like, right away. Right? Now, of course, the space in itself, because there is a lot of space, right? You just didn't get to see the backlands completely, but the backlands behind it has tons and tons of storage space. You're talking about maybe another 1/4 acre of land back there that we just have to dress up and make it feasible for storage, right? So, depending on what it is, we could have potential storage rental space, right? Which is something else depending on what's going on. So storage purposes. Okay. At the same time, we did notice that they have welding machines, right? They have arc welders and stuff like that. So that could be used for welding, of course. So they could also do a welding shop. And welding will include gates and grills and, you know, all of those other things, right? And then, of course, like I said, do have access to a couple of different locations that we could market out our products. All right, so we could prefab a lot of things as well, provided that we could build a market for some of those products as well, right? So, like I said, right now, it's just a little brainstorming session based on what we have seen that would be at our disposal, provided that we take on the project and we do it to a certain level, because all of this is important in helping you to determine the feasibility of the project for the long term. Okay? And after we get this in mind, we also will be going through some of the other logistics, which deals with, you know, the cost of getting it back up to par. All right? Getting the place back up and functioning. Okay? You know, got to look at transportation issues, other material costs, such as your raw material costs, right? Who we're going to buy wood from if we're not taking it as a sawmill in itself, okay? Because they don't have a miser there. They don't have a wood miser there. And, you know, the discussions that I had with some of my team coming down, we will deal with smaller base wood products, things that are a little bit more manageable. Tea. Yeah, beat it. Right? Now, there's also something else there. There is an industrial mill, right? Like a grinding mill there, right? Now, for that now, there's a potential there. There's a large potential there, but not to be able to use the mill there. So that mill would actually have to be moved to a different location for food processing, okay? And that will allow us to do a variety of different things, okay? Such as making certain flours and things like that, such as like corn flour, right? Corn flour is something, corn flour production, because as far as I'm concerned and that I know about, there's no one in Guyana really producing corn flour. Now, the fact that the machine can help us to produce the corn flour the way we need it, there is a growing market currently among those who are migrating to Guyana from Venezuela, Cuba, and so on and so forth, where maize, or also corn flour basically, is a primary part of their diet, okay? And as it stands right now, in order for them to get certain things from it, they have to get it at an imported cost. However, if we can produce it down here at an early stage before anyone else is able to capitalize and corner the market, right? Then 6 o'clock, Kavita, by like 6 would be a good time to give me a call, right? You know, so corn flour production is one thing. There are a few other things as well, things like chana flour and stuff like that that could be made down here, things that could be processed, packaged, labeled, you know. Likewise too, the fact that they have an industrial mill there, when we're not using it for our own particular products or services, right, we can have a system where persons who would like to produce their own products, right, can pay us, and we will help them produce their own products for them and package it as well. Okay, and the fact that we are getting exactly rice flour and stuff like that, the fact that we are getting, let me put that here, right, because before I forget. Thank you very much, Sonny. Right, because rice flour is a big thing, right? Let's see. Right? There's a ton of different little things that you could do there with a mill like that, right? Also things like making your own chicken feed. Provided that you buy the raw material already dried, you can make your own feed. Okay? For me, when the time comes and I have a farm that's big enough with X amount of cows and stuff like that, that might come in handy for me, right? More likely to be my father's farm, right? Because I'll be a little busy. Dad could play with the cows and everything else, with the exception of my baby pets, like Sebastian and them. They're my personal project. Come on, guys. Anyone else? Yes. Thank you very much. Doll flour. I wasn't thinking about that. Right? But I'm asking for ideas, you know, because I'm telling you guys straight, right? When you see me doing these projects, I'm doing them for Guyana. Because somebody's got to teach our people a variety of different places. Correct? Right? Somebody's got to teach our people how to get their shit together, right? I don't see no one else teaching people how to get their shit together. If you invest your money privately. Spices. Like Sonny, like I need to put you on a payroll or something. Need to get you in order for building ideas. Right? Because simple things like that, just knowing, right? Sourcing, procurement, things like that, right? You know, so this is all part of it. I don't even know why I put Sunny on the list. Like, I put Sunny on the list. I skipped a whole bunch of stuff. I'm putting Sunny. Once you got her here, you got everything else you need for those ideas, right? Exactly. Coffee. Well, with the coffee, we might have to get making things for instant coffee, right? Coconut water, right? Things like that. I don't think that mill is going to work for coconut water. There's a different type of machine that actually works well for coconut water. And in fact, right now, one of the companies that I do business with, right, they're actually exporting coconuts, both dry coconuts and processed coconut products. Okay, and in fact, that is the same company that would have hired, okay, a lot of people. Coconut flour. I've never personally used coconut flour. Okay, but that is a good thing. Don't mind me if I'm not talking and I'm writing, right? Because these are all actually money-making ideas, right? Because the machine is there. And Guyana has a lot of different material that we could really, really utilize. Saijin, I needed something to process my Saijin. Or, for those of you who don't know, it's called Moringa oleiflora. Alright? And that is a very important health supplement. And it carries a good cost to it as well, right? Right? So, you know, there's places you could choose packaging from a lot of different places. Alibaba.com is going to have a ton of different packaging supplies and manufacturers of packaging supplies. I've done business with a lot of different Chinese and Indian agencies over the last decade. So I do have 1 and 2 links in terms of packaging stuff, right? So also I have some other friends who are currently into the business of doing their own manufacturing for products right now. So talking to them and getting a little bit of extra advice and things like that is not too hard, right? Yes, we got coconut flour down. I made sure I got that down. Through Food for the Poor, Bernice Mansell Foundation. I don't know if the Bernice Mansell Foundation is still active, Susie. I know Bernice, right? I haven't seen Bernice in maybe about 2 years, but I know Bernice. Flax seeds. Right? So apparently the mill has a lot of potential. The mill has a serious amount of potential. I'm looking at things and thinking, hey, the mill is a business by itself, and it is. The mill is a complete business by itself, right? Now, after I get all of these ideas, then I got to research the method of processing for all of these ideas, right? Well, Fanny, that is possible. However, right now what we're discussing is ideas based on the current project at hand. If you're not sure of the project site, right, then definitely you can go and check the video prior to this. Tim Godfrey, you know where he talks skunt all day, Papa Snow. If I'm brainstorming with people and trying to teach young entrepreneurs some of the skills that they need, is that talking skunt, Godfrey? Just curious to know if educating and collaborating with people around the world in the interests of Guyanese is what you consider skunt. You just let me know that, right? So that I know what's really going on, right? Because bottom line, I could take that as an insult, or I could take that as a compliment, or I could take that as a joke, right? So ensure that you specify which way you want that statement to actually go, right? And if not, I might read it wrong and handle it differently. And no, I'm not tired talk skunt all day, just to let you know, right? I was born to talk skunt. I'm a skuntologist, right? I got my degree at the same place Irfan got his. Okay? And I'm fit and proper just like Granger, with a little bit of extra class and some fucking integrity at the same time. Right? Just letting you know. Right? So enjoy it. Right? I just don't know how a man come and tell me trying to brainstorm and give other young people ideas and working on a constructive, productive path, because technically I didn't talk nothing about politics or anything, right? But somehow somebody, okay, I'm curious, right, my buddy, because I'm like, yo, with everything being passed right now, I just want to ensure that Not gonna have no headache. Also, at the same time, I have to look for a cost-effective way to make this a reality, because why do it a more expensive way if I could take some of the simple things that are already functioning for my new client who owns the project site, and I can use that to generate the income to finance the rehabilitation of everything else. That would be a really, really good thing. So, you know, I've got to look at things from a lot of different areas, right? And just get those things in order, right? Okay, so far I know we've got tons of ideas so far on what we could do with the mill, and you know, this is pretty good. This is gold. I'm not sure if it's a wet mill. I've got to check it out, but from what I understand, it is a dry mill. So if it's a dry mill, then doing the pepper sauce might not work out, but provided that it could do the pepper sauce, right, the pepper sauce could work out. Right? We could check into that dried mango in a bag. Okay, one of the reasons why I push export in a big way, let me tell you guys something, right? Because I don't know if anybody or if a lot of people understand how economies work, right? How an economy works, okay? Sweeteners, yes. Right? In order for an economy to grow, money has to come in to the country, right? Let me explain this real fast, right? Money has to come into the country. Sonny, I love you, girl. You have no idea. I love smart people. Smart people is what we need, right? People who think fast, right? And that's what a team is about, by the way. You need a team. It's always good to have a team, right? So right now, what I'm doing is I've actually got a different section of, you know, my direct team and my board and stuff like that. However, right, split pea flour, yes. Well, okay, yeah, we already got that dal flour. We got that rice flour, dal flour. We got that, right? Okay, right on. Big up to everybody in Georgia, the Peach State. I haven't been to Georgia. Oh God, I haven't been to Georgia in like 17 years. 17 years since I went to Georgia, right? Georgia's a beautiful state. Love it. Okay, look forward to meeting with you, Sonny. You're a very smart person. Trust me when I tell you this, right? You got things on the tip of your tongue. This might be an area for you to get involved in. You'll be surprised. If you're local and you're not working anywhere, but you happen to know the processes for some of these things, remember, I'm not building all of this stuff for me, because of course, I can't do everything, right? So when people see me doing all of these projects, I'm building businesses, I'm helping to restructure things, I'm helping to get things in order so that we could create realistic opportunities for the people here in Guyana, because the reality is, you know, think about it. There's resources and there's persons who could develop those resources, and it could become beneficial for everyone in the country. That's some air in here, man. Everybody's playing dominoes. Good morning. Right? Definitely. Sonny, I could definitely tell you this. If we can produce a quality product and send you some samples and also, you know, commercials, things like that, because we do our own advertising and stuff like that as well, right? You might be able to get market over there, and definitely we could do a business, because if people are buying these things, why can't Guyanese sell these things? Why can't Guyanese provide these things, right? Why can't small Guyanese entrepreneurs get a break and be able to establish, once they have a good financial plan behind them? If they don't have one, we'll help them set up a proper one as well, so that they can experience a certain degree of growth, right? Because unless the people, the average person in our country can attain, right, a stable financial position, if that can't happen for a regular person in this country, then the country has failed. Hey, Horace, yeah, if you could put me in contact with those two persons, they might be extremely useful, right, for the overall objective, right? Right, they might be extremely useful for the overall objective. Susie, yeah, things like that I was looking at, right? Things like that is very important because chicken feed and stuff like that, those things got money in it, right? Even if you're not producing the chicken feed to sell to other persons, but you have your own chicken farm, you're already ahead of the game, right? So there is a lot of products that can be derived from the mill in itself, which is very good, right? Of course, I still got a ton more research to do. However, it doesn't take me long to do certain research because I already have a certain degree of technical knowledge in a lot of different fields. So when I'm doing research on things, it helps me to connect the dots appropriately so that I can maximize the potential of whatever the investment is or whatever, is available to us in terms of resources. Okay? And we're going to kind of push it that way. Okay? Of course, we also do have a couple of tricks up our sleeves that very few people in the world will ever have at their disposal. Thank God to the network that we do. So those are things that will make it possible, right? Correct, Nafi. Correct, Nafi Anthony. So those are things that I'm looking at. Dried pepper flakes, all of these things. Seasoning, the local stuff, and I have actually wanted to produce my own brand of seasoning already, and I've considered it in the past. So I wonder if this is God's way of saying, hey, the time has come for you to develop that idea. And I'm thinking that maybe that's it. Because on top of the wood and the lumber being a lucrative business in itself, believe it or not, it may also be cheaper to kickstart the business with the mill first, while the other business is being rehabilitated and things are being set up for that. And at least, depending on what it is, the overall startup cost would be cheaper because the mill is already present. I have a facility that is approved for food processing, and I could just integrate that into that facility already. And that facility is already doing a large amount of processing. Okay? So the only thing I have to look at other than that now is some degree of storage, depending on what it is. I have to look at electricity consumption, right? And labor. And the mill is doing most of the work. So the manpower on that would be relatively low. Right? We process it in bulk, and then we send our bulk to be packaged, or we start doing our packaging ourselves, depending on what is available to us to do the packaging. And that will also determine the quantity by which we're selling, because the larger the quantity, either the more hands you need or the more automated your system needs to become in order to get it done correctly. Okay? So that's going to leave me to do a lot of financial research on that part to see how we can actually, push that. Now, that being the case, right, if we're going to be milling and doing products and stuff like that, we need a brand name. We need a brand name that is going to work for our spices and all of our milled products, right? Because that's the next thing we have to discuss, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who could assist in helping us to come up with a beautiful brand name for our milled products. Hey, ideas, Sonny, ideas, girl, ideas. It's the way to go right now, right? Let's see if we could come up with a really nice, cool, catchy name for our products, right? And at the same time, I will also be able to check out some of our competition, right? And the competition isn't hard to find out because I'm a chef. So when it comes to spices, right, I'm the right guy, right? Because I use a ton of spices, right? So there are a variety of things that we do. Going into the spice market and the dry products is a very good way to go because those products tend to have a long shelf life, which means they don't spoil fast, right? So that'll allow us a lot of flexibility in terms of shelf life and stocking. Yes, Nafi, definitely. But like I said, right now we're brainstorming, right? So, in fact, let me make sure that I put that here because sometimes you discuss something, right? And then you forget it. So I like to do a lot of notes, right? Okay. So now we're trying to focus on a nice name, Guy Brand Spices. Okay. I need extra paper. In my office. So that's one. Let's see how many names we can come up with, and we can make this an official Guyanese brand by having Guyanese help us pick the name and see what it is that we're doing. So this is a complete Guyanese project, right? I was thinking something along the line as Papa Snow something too. I was just kind of thinking about that because Papa Snow kind of got a ring to it. But at the same time, I don't really like using my name in certain things, believe it or not. Right? Well, as it comes to marketing, Sonny, it doesn't matter what my opinion is. I have to look for what sells, right? Okay, so that's a slogan or a catchphrase, right? Discover the taste of Guyanese. Not of Guyanese, because we're not really blending Guyanese and milling them, but to discover the taste of Guyana. I think we can do better than that, right? Because right now on the international scene, Guyana tasting and looking pretty slim, thanks to Flamingo and them buys them. Papi Chulo. Yo, go to the store and get me some papi. Okay, that has a kind of a ring to it. That's kind of a ring to it. Remember, I'm just gonna be writing these things down, right? And then we can actually do like kind of a nationwide, nationwide vote on it. See how many people how it reacts. In fact, I'm not going to use Sebastian there. I want to actually save the name Sebastian for a project that I would like to do later on when that time is right. And that will be a steakhouse. Right? Sebastian's Steakhouse. And of course, everyone would know why I named it Sebastian's Steakhouse, right? I like the Papi Chulo. Spice Papi. Papi Spice. Let's see. Right? Remember, it is for our spices, but we're going to be doing a lot more than just spices, right? We're looking at rice flour. We're looking at things like dal flour, chana flour, barley flour. A majority of things that we could actually utilize, right? A lot of things that we could utilize. So it can't just be spice, because we're going to be selling a lot more than spice, right? So that's an important thing. So we need to come up with a brand that can accommodate a variety of different dry milled products, right? Definitely. Sunny, the fact that you just spitting ideas out and you ain't even had a time to think, you're very smart young woman there, right? So I know for a fact that after you brainstorm for the night, I look forward to seeing the ideas that you put out there. I think it's gonna be very, very important. I think there is something called Nature's Delight, right? But just in case, I'll write it down and I will check it back. But I do feel that there's something, so I'll just put a question mark next to that one, right? And exactly, Horace. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a global brand, right? Because we plan on exporting. Exportation is where the money is. On a local level, I will not be able to create as many jobs, right, as I would like to. Plant and flower, yes, definitely. Right? Let's see. Yep. Catchphrases, stuff like that. By the way, I'm a person that you go to. One of the things that I offer is branding services, right? That's one of my online jobs, right, that I do for companies overseas. They pay me a money, and I go and I find them a logo, I find them a name, a logo, a catchphrase, motto, whatever it is, and we make it relevant to what it is that they're doing, right? So the same time that I'm doing this and we're going over these ideas, the reason why I'm doing this right now live is in hopes that you guys would be able to share this video so that other young entrepreneurs who are getting ready to go into the marketplace, right, they can definitely learn how, because sometimes some people don't know where to start, and because you don't know where to start, things can get really frustrating and confusing, okay? And showing them how to navigate their startup is really, really important, because if not, that's what causes a lot of young entrepreneurs to fail. They have no idea where to start, really what to start doing, how to market their stuff. And some people think that it's just something you could just think about it for a minute, and no. It doesn't work like that, right? We have things and we run a consensus, right? We look for the opportunities, right? And food festival. Who knows? Remember, it can't just be spices, right? Don't limit it to just spices, because we are not limited to only spices. Okay? All right, Devala. God bless you and have a great night. Like I said, it's just about ideas, right? This is just a little brainstorming session. Okay, Christine. Also, ladies and gentlemen, when you're coming up with names, try to keep them short if possible, right? Long names don't work well. right? Long names don't work well in advertising, okay? People tend to forget. They be like, brrr, that's too much, right? Look at things that have sold really well on the market, right? Look at Kraft, for instance. Kraft is a brand, but they have many different products under their brand, right? But when you say Kraft, you know, Kraft is one thing by itself. So the name Kraft, every time you hear Kraft, it signifies something that you can relate to. The word Goya, someone has used Goya, right? When you say Goya, right, it went to a particular area. Well, we're already looking at cornmeal. In terms of soy products, right, soy might be a little hard to get your hands on in Guyana. Okay, so I could tell you that. I don't know very many people in Guyana planting a lot of soy, right? But soy flour and soy products would be very, very good, right? Right, would be very, very good in order to get things going on. Let me just go back here. And there was a slogan for this one that Christine put on, which was perfect ingredients to melt in your pot and your mouth. I think we can improve on that one, Christine. Definitely think we could improve on that one. Your slogan's got to be catchy and not hard to roll off of your tongue. Keep it simple, right? In advertising, less means more. Always remember that. In marketing and advertising, less almost always means more, right? So just, just focus on that as kind of a guideline, right? Whenever you're doing things for advertising, slogans, logos or slogans, catchphrases, you want to try to keep them as short as possible, as direct as possible, and very, very easy to remember and say. Okay? Once you can hear it one time and it could stick in your head, that's what we're looking for. Right? Alright, so that's definitely what we're looking for. Guyana's best. I kind of like that, but I'm not sure if there's something like that yet. Nature spice. Please remember, we're not just going to be producing spice with milk. Right? So, simple, catchy, memorable. Focus on that. Simple, catchy, memorable. Right? And always try to keep it as unique as possible at the same time. Right? So this is where, nice little challenge for people. Let's see if you guys have what it takes to be in marketing and advertising. Because this is part of it. This is a marketing and advertising job here. Building a brand. Something I do on a regular basis for various companies. Right? It's part of what we do. Right? How many of you out there are actually enjoying this little brainstorming session? Breadcrumbs, I could see breadcrumbs doing a big thing, and I think I have a source of it. That I could get an unlimited amount of bread to do my breadcrumbs. Right? Breadcrumbs can actually become a byproduct of other things we're doing at the same time as well, right? But we have to think about how feasible it is to touch the breadcrumb market, because there's some other people that may be able to stomp us out in the breadcrumb market. However, having a variety of products isn't bad. Giving people variety is important, right? And what we're going to do is we're probably going to more than likely touch base on at least 5 of these recommendations first, right? The 5 strongest products that we know that could take the market by storm and start generating. And then, piece by piece, we will trickle in the other products as we develop more and more systems to, you know, ensure that everything works out. Right. GT Taste. What's up, Marvin? Spices for the right prices. I like that. In fact, that could be used in a commercial. I don't think it could be used for the direct catchphrase, but that could definitely be used in a marketing or a commercial advertisement when we are selling the product. Okay, the problem with the term Guyanese snow wrap kitchen is people might think it's cocaine skunt, so we gotta be careful, right? Before they come running down on me thinking I got the wrong type of milk. Gotta be careful there, right? And you know how they like me already. Right? Sun Snow. Okay, so we're gonna end this brainstorming session for a moment. We're gonna go over a couple things that we would have accomplished from this short meeting here, right? Because you guys are now like part of my team. Like I'm working with you now, right? Share ideas, thoughts, right? By the way, I think this is the way government should work too, right? I think the ministers and politicians should do shit like this before deciding what laws are necessary for the country. I think that would make things way, way, way better for the people of Guyana, by the way. Right? And then we get to pick sense out of nonsense, so on and so forth, right? Right? Taste of Guyana. Yes, Taste of Guyana could work out. Snowflakes. Ha, 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 ha. I hope that was a joke. Snowflakes. Amazon food. That could work as well. Right? So yes, just doing a recap. So we would have talked about some of the potential products that we would be able to deal with from the woodworking section of the project site, which is things like lumber for both local. Thank you, Rob Kitchen. Right? Yeah, because I'm going to make sure that any names that we're going to use, of course, we have to do an international check, right, to ensure that no one else is using the names, because our products will be international and also patented in terms of our name and, you know, stuff like that to protect us. Okay? Okay, let's see. So for the woodworking sections, we know that we have the machinery there that we could dress wood for both local and export quality. We could manufacture doors and cabinets for prefab. Right? And prefab will keep it cheaper, right? And those are also things that we can utilize and sell on hire purchase and other things like that as well. Spindles is a definite thing because the spindle machine is there. Okay, staircases, prefab staircases. Imagine if you could buy a staircase in a box and set it up for yourself at home. Right. That would be nice. We're also looking at the space there that could be utilized for certain storage. I like that name, Ramna. As simple as it may sound, Green Heart Products. It has a very nice ring to it. It has kind of a health vibe to it in terms of stuff. I know you might say green heart for the wood, right? For the wood, yes. Green heart, purple heart, stuff like that, right? And so that's what we were dealing with. Of course, yeah, we spoke about doors. Wooden ladders, wooden scaffolds. Okay, these are some things. Except I think it might be cheaper. You see, I'm going to check the cost effectiveness of those things as well, right? Some wooden ladders would definitely sell. Tasty pastures. Nice. You know, I think from this particular segment, I think I'll be able to determine a lot of, or at least connect with a lot of geniuses out there for advertising that people might not even realize are actually out there. If you guys, some of you don't do this as part of your, like a side career or whatnot, you should maybe consider it, and I'll show you where and how, right? Okay, remember at the project site, there's also welding machines as well. So there are a lot of things that we could do there in terms of welded, once again, prefab gates and stuff like that. Yep, wooden shelves, that would fall in line with the doors and cabinets and stuff. Wooden shelves, things like that. Also custom made things, you know. You have a particular space. Maybe it's not a direct size as to what you wanted or what we have. We can actually custom build things for you as well, right? So I'm looking at custom work. So look. Remember, all we're doing right now, yeah, we got furniture there. We do have furniture. We do have furniture. Oh shit. I spoke about furniture, but I didn't add furniture to my list. Right? So let me make sure I put furniture. Right? Closets, all of that stuff could fall in line with doors and cabinets. Okay. So that's what we covered for the mill. So not the mill, the wood processing area and the welding, and of course some of the products that we discussed that we would be able to produce from the actual mill in itself, right, would be things like corn flour, rice flour, chana flour, dal flour, barley, coffee. I don't think that we should touch coffee. Coffee is a huge market already, and it might not be feasible for us to get into the coffee section. Okay, coconut flour. I could see coconut flour being one of the first things that I could touch base on. Plantain flour, because we have plantain in Guyana. Of course, dal flour, because split peas is cheap. Barley, things like that we could get. Rice flour would more than likely be a bigger man here. And you know, from these things we'll moringa, the saijin. The saijin is a man that I would definitely touch base with. Right, so I know no matter what, provided that we'll be operating the mill, saijin or moringa oleiflora, right, will be one of the products that we will produce. In fact, we have a process for producing it already. And yes, we will be able to ship to New York. The local people wouldn't necessarily buy the local coffee. It would be more labor than profit there. It wouldn't be very feasible. So that's why I'm not jumping on that. Until Guyana fully jumps into a coffee mode, in which case that would be a little bit of a different story. Right? We could, however, produce specialty coffee blends that could be produced, right, on a small scale, but for a high-end market, right? So I can see that being produced, right? Tea, bush tea, capadula tea, things like that, right? Right? You know, y'all know what capadulas do for you, right? Good. Right, so that's like a male enhancement tea. You drink that, your body working right all the time. So I know that I can market that product easy. Right? We're looking at things like ground ginger, stuff like that. Those are things that we normally have to import. But we grow ginger locally, which means that we can produce ginger. right? We could at least produce ground ginger. Turmeric. I do know people are growing turmeric locally as well. And also mangoes are growing locally. So, you know, cassava flour. Cassava is grown locally. In fact, because of cassava, we can actually use that as a way to help stimulate the economy for the Amerindians in the Northwest and other areas, right? Right, so there's a lot of different things. Lemongrass tea will work right now too, especially due to Corona. Those are things that you call niche markets. Corona can make you rich because of stuff like that, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, another big reason why I'm sitting here and I'm discussing all of these things with you is because if you really believe in some of the ideas that that you are putting out there with me today, right? And you are interested, as you can see, I'm not lying to you. We do have access to the machines and the equipment. So if you were ever thinking about becoming your own private business owner, investing in your own ideas, and not sure how, or maybe you didn't get the help and support, maybe you wanted to financially invest in something, but you're not sure where to put your money, what you can actually do with that money, right? Well, mint, I don't know very many people growing mint in Guyana, right? If they were growing mint in Guyana, I would definitely consider mint tea. Right? I would definitely consider milk tea. Also, when you're thinking about products and you're thinking about these things, ladies and gentlemen, also think about things if you know you can sell those things. Okay? Think about these things. So if you know you can actually sell or push a product, let me know what's going on, because at the same time we will market that product for you, or we will utilize you. Hold on, walking through a dark section here, right? As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, ha ha ha, right? Do it every day. So you know, if you know that there's a genius of a product that just came out, and it's something that you would like to focus on, right? It works out. Also, at the same time, if there is a product, exactly, Sonny, like you said, some things are easy to grow. Now, what if those cane cutters and everybody who is out of jobs, who are used to doing agricultural work, what if we can use this mill program as a way to utilize some of them as farmers on their own places and help to stimulate some work and some money for them as well? Because those are persons who are displaced in our society right now, who were displaced because of bad management practices from government. And those are persons who definitely and definitively, we need to help them find employment. We need to get our cane cutters back to work. We need to get them, and not even cutting cane anymore. I think it's time to evolve. I hear everybody talking about hemp, growing hemp, but let me tell you what. Guyana has so much at its, so many resources that we can exploit, that I don't think hemp production alone would be it. I think more food-based production for food-related items is the way to go, because it's guaranteed the food-related items would sell. Okay? Especially if you create the right venues and everything else to push those products. Right? Those are things that could definitely sell. Like, let me come out here and take a little breeze. Oxygen is good for thinking, right? So make sure you get a lot of oxygen. Well, Jenny, while we're producing products, we will push to export globally, right? I think, like I said, you know, Guyana's never fully had an industrial revolution. And a lot of us have probably been waiting on a government to trigger the industrial revolution. However, what if we could trigger the industrial revolution minus government stimulus packages? What if we as private investors could come together and become our own conglomerates, right? Right, so there are a lot of things, exactly, thyme, celery, right? Well, Michelle, yes, we would definitely be planning to ship to Canada, right? We already have a system and a facility that would allow us to do that, which is FDA approved, and a few other things as well for international distribution, in which we export seafood and stuff like that. At this present moment, that is happening. Okay? At this present moment, that is happening. Right? So there are a lot of things that will happen, right? But of course, this is the conception of the ideology, and where we come to the board, we go through all the challenges of building it as a business, right? So as you can imagine, right, for the next couple months, I'm just going to be a lot of work in terms of focusing on brand building, focusing on processing, right? Catering to all of the legal requirements that are necessary to be involved in a business like that, right? But definitely it all starts with ideas, right? And the ideas start with the brainstorming, and right, and that works out, right? But like I said, the first thing I'm going to deal with, we're going to look through, we're going to check to see which is easier to process, which is cheaper. We have to check feasibility, because everything that I have on this list right now, it's a lot of other work that has to go behind each of these ideas to find out which is going to be the most feasible alternatives that are also going to be the most profitable to really jump on right away, knowing that we already have the machine to do it, right? So I'm going to be going into doing some of that stuff. I think we have a ton of stuff. Already that could definitely work out. And at the same time, right, I will encourage everyone else who is watching this video, at least every Guyanese, anyone. Once you're brilliant, I will encourage you to share your ideas with us, right? By the way, brilliance is not defined by anyone's opinion, right? It can spark in a moment, right? It will spark in a moment, right? So right now, like I said, this is all the idea stage. This is the brainstorming piece. This is some of the same stuff that I'm going to be going back and we're going to be doing with our marketing team, you know. But at the same time, like I said, these projects that I'm doing here in Guyana, I want to ensure that all Guyanese are inclusive in it, okay? Because when I do something here, I would like it to be lasting, and I would definitely like it to be of benefit to everyone here in our country in terms of being able to, you know, become a success in the international marketplace, be able to bring revenue back into the country, right? And get these things in order. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to wrap up this brainstorming session for the evening. And I wanted to thank all of you for attending this meeting here, right? And sharing your ideas. Because, you know, that's how things start off. They all start off with an idea. God, I look tired. I got these little circles around my eyes. I need sleep, right? Probably dinner first and a nice shower before, right? Yes, Mobby bark and cinnamon. I got to put that down. That's important. I know that's could sell. Right, and you know, for everyone here, masala, jira, all those things. But at the same time, we got to see, right? Because we got to see the raw product. The raw product is important, right? Anything that we're doing, you have to consider where we're at in the world, where these products naturally come from. Do we grow it? Do we produce it? What is going on, right? Turmeric. We can make our own curry powder. Turmeric is growing in Guyana. I see Bihari planted a lot of turmeric already, right? Also turmeric, because it can grow in Guyana, right? We can also utilize Guyanese farmers that are out of work and get them in play. Help them produce something. You see, and I hope that you understand that everything that I'm doing somehow ties back into creating a successful, sustainable employment system for the average Guyanese person, right? This is the type of stuff that I wish, the ministers did before they just said, hey, close this estate or put these people out of work. Or, you understand, these are the type of things that they don't do, that they need to do, but instead they ask is just go and sit down and use the tax money and call a meeting for eat free food and have people serve them, right? And is a problem. There is a way to repurpose sawdust. However, some of the machinery for that is very expensive, okay? And very high on energy consumption, right? That's something else that everybody needs to take into consideration. That energy consumption in Guyana, right? The cost of electricity is very, very high, right? So depending on where you're doing business in Guyana or whatnot, or what other facilities that you have, you need to do it in such a way that it would be relatively feasible to get it done, right? So these are all part of the logistic things that we have to look at, from transportation, right, of bringing the main products, to the cost of the material, to the cost of labor, to the cost of packaging, to the cost of marketing, and finally, what will the overall retail cost be? What will the wholesale cost be? Because we're not going to sell every single bag, right, or package. So we need to make sure it's profitable for people to sell our products and cheap enough for people to buy our products, right? So, it's a lot of other little fine work that I have to sit down and go through to make feasible for this whole scenario. However, some things that I would have done 3 years ago, and I would have had some plans written down from 3 years ago when I was researching certain things as well. So that gives me a huge jump start. And in saying that, let me tell you, anytime you have ideas, don't be scared. As that idea crosses your mind, pull out a pen and write it down. If you got a problem writing it down, hit the speaker button on your phone, speak and record it as a note. Right? These are things that are necessary. Right? Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Please continue to share your ideas, because at the same time, I'll be going back through this video. I'm going to have some of our marketing representatives who work with us going back through this video and looking at your comments, right? And I'll tell you what, if we decide to use a name or an idea, whoever would have shared that name or idea, we will find something very special to do for you. Right? We will find something very special to do for you. And if the idea rockets, and the name or whatever it is that we have used that would have came from you skyrockets, expect an annual gift. Every year I'll send you something amazing. I would put that in the company policy to ensure that you get something amazing every year. Right? So, I wanted to thank everybody so far for your support. I wanted to thank you for joining this little brainstorming session, right? And, we're going to go from there. I do have some ideas that I want to write down on this list as well. And then definitely, certain products, we're going to be putting certain names up, things like that. And we're going to ask for a general consensus from the Guyanese public. Because this brand that we're going to create here will be a brand to represent Guyana. And that is going to be a big thing, right? And definitely, this will make it possible. So in case any company that produces any one of these particular products we find supports a dictatorship, I can produce those products to help you guys boycott the shit out of them. Yep. So there's a lot of ways to make this thing happen, right? I just find ways to connect the dots that people often don't see, right? So it's a positive thing. So thank you very much, and thank you for taking this moment and being with me here and brainstorming with me here. And I'm very, very happy that we didn't have to deal with nothing political at this particular moment. However, if you think about this, it actually is kind of political because we're fixing the problems together that the politicians have not been able to fix. Okay? So, big thing. So continue to share your ideas and just know that as all of these ideas manifest themselves, understand that you personally had a hand in helping to fix your country. Thank you very much. God bless you and good night.